This is brought to you by Future Skills Prime, India's technology skilling hub. Thank you everyone for joining in this webinar. I am Hina Kausar, Deputy Manager with NASCOM, and I will be the host for today's session. Talking of today's session on the art of the interview, mindset, methodology, and real world practice for career success. This is one of my favorite topics because as a professional, I myself have gone into various interviews, and boy, I do know more about interviews today than I knew way back then. But not everyone has to learn everything through experience. If you can have tips and tricks up your sleeves beforehand. And thanks to our speaker and guest, Smita MV, that is completely a possibility. Let me tell you a bit about Smita before she delves into how interviews are more than a question answer session and how they are a test of preparation, mindset, and skill. Smita Kumaran with me here. You can see her very much on the screen. She is coach and mentor on career success, and she runs her own program called Rapid Results. She brings over 30 years of experience and expertise in operational excellence, talent management, and fostering organizational growth. She has worked with Wipro Limited, and she has been my colleague in the past as well. She's from NASCOM as well. She has worked with NASCOM, and she's passionate about creating a workforce for the future. So, Smita, that was from my end. What do you say? Shall we start? Let's
Yes,
start the
yes.
session.
Yeah, let's get started. Thank you, Hina. And thank you to all of you. Probably maybe a lot of you have vacations now. Even with that, you joined. That shows that you've taken the right first step, right? A lot of things starts with intent. The intent to join something, intent to learn something, intent to spend time for that, intent to prioritize. And so the topic of today is art of interview, right? When I say, okay, so Hina, you okay, so with all your permission, I'm making Hina your representative. You can always put in chat and tell, oh no, 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 this is not what I want. So if I ask a question and Hina is going to give me some answer, and then all of you can answer in the chat also, please be very active with the chat because unless and until you ask questions, I can just deliver a session and run away, right? You're not going to benefit. So, ready, set, go. Let's crack that interview. When I say this, what's running in your mind, Hina?
Uh, uh,
What's
I
running in your
what's
mind?
done.
Everybody. Yeah.
Whenever there's an interview, my first priority is what will I do, what will I say, and how am I gonna perform in the interview. So that is what runs in my head.
Okay. Is it a good feeling, bad feeling, butterflies in the stomach?
Butterflies in the stomach. I'm on a giant wheel coming down the giant wheel.
Okay.
It's all of those sensations.
Okay, so I've been taking such sessions for maybe last many years within Wipro as well as outside and during FSP time also. So these are some things that I've heard, right? Anybody who has anything more than this, please put in the chat and Hina, please tell me because I'm not able to see the chat. I'm presenting,
People say
right?
they
So
have fear of interviews,
fear of interviews,
they
yeah.
don't know how to approach the questions, and they are nervous and confused.
Confused. Okay, so some of them are covered here. Right, so when
Mm-hmm.
you have so many problems, I'm sure this is just a representation of probably eight, right? So there are so many problems that one has. How do you get started? Where do we start? What do you see in the screen? So these are three circles. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with these circles. To see these circles are a way to organize our thoughts, organize our ideas, organize our worries, anything. I would say this is like a magic pill, right? Anytime you're confused, you have too many things to deal with, think of this circle. There are things that can be in your area of control, in your control, right? Then there are things that are in the circle of influence, and then things that are in the circle of concern. Concern, you have least control on that. You just don't know what to do with them. Then there are things that are in the area of influence, right? Where maybe you can request somebody, maybe you can motivate someone to get started, right? Maybe you can talk to them and make them feel comfortable with you, like how I am doing. The session that I'm doing, this is in the area of influence. I am trying to give you tips now, whether you take the tips, whether you master the art of interview, it's up to you. What I can do, make it interesting, make it easier for you to start. So this session for me is in my area of influence. What is it in your area of control right now when we think about interview? I want to learn shortcuts. Yeah, that's in your area of control. You can do right now, right in this session. I have poor communication skills. How do I better my communication? Answers are not good enough. I'm scared of interview. Right? But you cannot do anything about, oh, there are not enough opportunities. Things are changing. Will I screwed up one interview. I'm sorry for the usage. I missed getting selected in one of the interviews. Will I ever get another chance? No, we cannot handle that. And some of these are probably in your area of influence. But for today's session, let's keep it at things that you can do as a person. Right? So, are we good to go, Hina?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so a lot of these things out of there could be maybe 10 such things which are in your area of control, but then a lot of them are just thoughts or beliefs that you have, right? And some of them are limiting beliefs. What is a limiting belief? A belief that is stopping you from going forward. If I believe that I have poor communication skills, how can I take this session today? Right? Do you believe if I say that 30 years back, when I was a fresh graduate, I was in my final year and a campus interview came in and I got selected. The first company to come in, I got selected in the aptitude test. The next set, they said it's a group discussion. And you know what I did? I just ran away. I went home saying, no, I cannot talk. I don't know how to talk in English. But if I had at least, no, that's a sure shot of losing. If I had at least stayed and opened my mouth, maybe I would have got selected. Who knows? So a lot of things are limiting beliefs. What is an example of a limiting beliefs? I am sure a lot of you have heard about it, seen this example being used. There is an elephant, right? What happens? That small wooden piece that you see, that's probably a trunk of a cut tree, right? This is a very elephant when it was a baby was tied to this. It tried escaping, nothing. It couldn't do anything about it. But as the elephant became very strong, if it just moves, that wood will come off, right? But the elephant doesn't do it. Why? It thinks that it's a lost case. I can't escape. It's just given up. Let's not be like those elephants. Anything that you have, right? Any belief that you have, you can change it. There are ways to do it. That's why in our session, we are talking about mindset. Then there's a way to do it. And then there is practice that is involved. So we'll be covering all these three things. So anyone who thinks, oh no, I don't think I can do like the other person. I don't think I have what it takes. Stay put. You are going to get a lot of inputs for you to become better. Okay, I'm just saying from where you are, you definitely can get started. How do you get started? By taking first step. I know it's very difficult. I know it feels like too much work. So let's do something. All of you, take a deep breath. What is a deep breath? Look around your room. Look for 5 things, 5 objects that you can notice. 5 objects. Don't just generally look for, yes, I have a wall hanging, I have a monitor here, I have a bag standing there, I have my water bottle, I have my phone. 5 things. Just focus. Hear 4 sounds. Any 4 sounds that is there, wherever you are. Touch 3 things. Maybe your head, anything. Touch 3 things. Smell. What's the smell that is there? 2 things. Can you identify? Focus intently. Can you identify 2 smells? Most of you would have had your lunch. What's the taste that is remaining in your tongue? What is that one taste that you can notice? Take another deep breath. Okay, what we did is called a centering exercise. I hope all of you are there with us now, physically, mentally, everything. Hina, how are you feeling?
Quite better than earlier.
Okay, better than earlier. That's what we want. Okay, so the first step is the hardest step, right? You have to get started for anything, for doing anything, for let's say to like even if it is a very familiar thing, for us to, let's say, Hina, for us to, when we started preparing for this session, the first step of deciding a date was the toughest thing to do. So how do
Yep.
you do that? So you break that into smaller steps. That's the only way to do it. So do what you can do. Okay, can we speak today? Can we identify the topic? So anything that you have to do, break it into smaller steps and do. And how do we break it into smaller steps? So these are two things I want each of you to keep in your mind. One is any belief that you have can be a limiting belief. You can work on it. You can make yourself better. Second thing, a lot of things will look hard, but then there is a way to break that into smaller steps. If you yourself are not able to identify what those smaller steps are, definitely ask in the chat as you're seeing what we are discussing today. Okay, two things I want from you. So, most interviews, like there is one thing which is very, very sure shot in an interview, which is a question, which is something like, tell us about yourself. Like, this is a question which all of us have to face. And forget why are we talking about interviews in anywhere. When you have to go meet a new friend, or you are in a conference, you are in a new class, or you join a new college, anything, even a set of new friends, right? This question will definitely be there. Hi, hello, who are you? Tell us about yourself. So how do you do this usually? Hina, if you had to do it for an interview, how do you do it?
So this is the answer that I usually tell my interviewers. Hey, hi, this is Hina Kausar. I have worked with NASCOM earlier, and I was in the role of deputy manager. Before that, I have worked with Mercer Metal and a small media advisory firm called ETDB Communication. I have experience in content, public relations, communications, and my hobbies are reading and drawing sometimes and traveling. So this is
Okay.
in short what I say.
Okay. Good, Hina. How many of you think this is really good? It was short and sweet. So that's the first thing. You've cracked it, Hina. The introduction, right? Tell us about yourself cannot be more than 2 minutes. It just needs to be 2 minutes. More than that, if you tell, I will lose interest, right? Because I just want to know a little bit of you. So from interviewing probably thousands of people and managing people who have interviewed thousands of people, let's say, I have come up with a set of things, right? So we need to have some framework. I cannot give you a sample because each one of you is different. Each one of us are different. Our strength is different. Our experiences are different. Like how we saw today, there are people who are on a break. There are people who are looking for a change. There are freshers who are looking for a job. There are students. So what we're going to do is give a framework. We're not going to give you a sample. We're not going to give you, oh, this is where fill in the blanks. No, we're going to give you a framework. And why we're doing it, I'll tell you later. If I don't tell why we are doing framework, please ask me. That's your assignment, just to see if you remember. Okay. So it has to be, we keep hearing about storytelling. So your introduction has to be a story. What are the elements of this intro story that you have? You need to have something that says who you are, right? Even if I don't select you, I should remember who you are. For that, you should tell something quirky, something interesting, something which is specific about you, right? And achievements. What are your achievements? This make it specific to the job that you're applying for, or make it specific to the audience that you what they are looking for. If you are in a friend, this thing, the achievement will be very different. Saying, "Oh, I've had a lot of friends," or something, right? It has to be specific to that interaction. Then you speak about your specializations, interest, or fitment. I mean, we're talking about specific to job here. So why are you a fit for this job? This the clue to this thing is in this section, whatever you say, you have a chance to drag the interview in that direction, right? You have to leave it, you have to tell it little bit, Not so much so that the interviewer has some interest and they are like, okay, what is this thing that this person has got interest? And this has to be relevant to the job description. That's the most important thing, right? If the job description asks for, let's say, someone who's worked on innovation, right? You can speak about your interest. If you have already that experience, you tell, oh yeah, you can put it in the achievement also. Or you can say, I have interest in, I learn about innovation, I read about innovation, I practice innovation wherever I can. Right? That's how you'll tell it. And also you have to say why this is important and why are we doing all these things. The identifier, it needs to leave some emotional connect with the person whom we are talking. Like, right, Hina. So when you said Hina Kausar, I was like, okay, so this is a movie name, right? So
Yeah.
I am okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I'll remember you even if we don't, even if I, let's say I was interviewing you, I will still. So if you tell that, okay, this was a movie or anything, some little thing about that, it will connect with me more, right? So the way, I mean, for example, the way I tell in most of the places is, I'm Smita, right? If, okay, let's say another most important thing, you have to be an active listener. If I say, hey, now, how do you introduce? You can't start by saying, oh, my name is Hina. I already know that. I'll get bored. I mean, when you start itself, I'm like, okay, this person didn't listen to me. Now, this question can come in more forms, like, I've gone through your resume. Tell me something that is not there in your resume, right? So this is a chance. Now, this is the structure. From here, you have to improvise. The achievement is to tell that you are looking for this job description. I have the experience. I have these achievements in this area. Hence, please take me. So the interviewer should get confidence when you tell this part. The specializations or interest fitment, whatever you're telling, should make them curious to say, okay, what am I? Okay, so this person seems to be having something which we need for this job. So let me dwell deeper into it, right? You can drag the entire interview in this direction. Then why do you need this job? Anything you tell in this area will give them a feeling of, okay, this person has prepared for this interview, not just any interview. For this interview, they have put an effort. Why are we doing all this? At the end, the secret is interviewer selects based on feelings. They should get a feeling that this is the right person. And that's why we are doing it. Now, how do you master this? So this is a framework, right? So this is a framework. So framework has got 4 parts to it. You need to have an identifier. You need to talk about your achievements. You need to talk about your interest or fitment. And then you also say why you need this. Why am I repeating it? Because we tend to forget, right? And all these, you have to do it in 2 minutes. Imagine if you have to do all these things in 2 minutes, what is required? Practice, right? You need to do a lot of practice. And how do you practice? You write each of the items that we spoke about. You write different identifiers that you can use. You write what achievement you can. You have to have a laundry list of all achievements in your life, whatever it is, maybe from your academics, from your extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities, projects you did, or from your life as such. Have a list of achievements, and then you can plug and play and you practice, right? How do you practice? I have a suggestion. You can do one practice is by using Microsoft PowerPoint. If you log into PowerPoint, Office 365, PowerPoint slideshow, you will find an icon called Rehearse with Coach. Okay, so if you click on it and start telling your, let's say, tell us about yourself script, it's going to give you feedback on how you performed. Were you convincing? Was your tone okay? Right? All that it will give you. So it will give you more confidence. And another easier way to do it is do it in front of mirror. Right? Keep talking. Anytime you get a chance, try use the structure and try and do your introduction. And use it in different scenarios. Use it with friends and see how they feel, and notice what clicks, what doesn't. Right? So that's how you do. Even after all this, right? It is a tension scenario. Like before we started the session, I was little nervous. Why? it's good to be nervous because I care. I care to deliver what I'm supposed to, what Hina has entrusted in me. Right? I care to make sure that what I'm telling should reach everybody. All the students, all the participants who have logged in should get benefited. So you will be nervous. So when you are going and facing an interview, you may be nervous. That's fine. It just means that you are serious about it. So how do you do? What do you do when you're nervous? Hina, I don't remember. I don't know if you noticed before the session, I was closing my eyes and sitting, right? For some time.
Yeah, for a few minutes, yes.
Yeah. So that's my way of calming down, right? I, so at least in front of an interviewer, yeah, you cannot close your eyes and sit, but you can take one deep breath. How many seconds is going to take? 12, 15 maximum? That is enough. That is okay. You can take that one deep breath. Then you smile. Most often, a smile makes your nervousness, definitely it lowers. It makes the other person also more friendly, usually. But you have to be very clear. You're observing the interviewer. If they are not liking it, then you don't have to continue like that. So this smile is going to help you calm down. And then you tell this. Okay. So this is how you will do the tell us about yourself. I think we spent almost 10 minutes on this one question. Can you tell me why this is important, Hina? Why did we spend 10 minutes of a 60-minute webinar on one question?
This will set the tone for the rest of the interview, maybe. They are interested in you already if you did it right.
Yes, yes. So this one is like, there's a saying, no? Well begun is half done. So this question most often gives you confidence if you answer it well. Like you start off and suddenly you're searching for words. You have, what I mean, just like that, right? So many filler words all of us use. So if you are able to do it without that, your confidence will improve. Whether that person, see, that's in the circle of control. What is in the circle of control? You can do this, you do this well, your confidence will improve. Whether maybe it will influence the interviewer also. Maybe they will also be impressed, right? How many of you think this is something you can do? Or I'm not looking at the,
I'll let you know if
yeah,
we.
okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, are you okay? Good. So this is something, one important aspect. And why am I telling this? Because this is how you can approach everything related to an interview. You may not be able to predict questions and script your answers. No, not possible because each interview is different, each interviewer is different. So they may be asking very different questions, very different way of conducting the interview. So some of them will be casual. So you cannot have canned responses. But what can you do? You can create frameworks. You can create parts of your answer. And you can have all those things ready, pre-made. It's like having all the ingredients ready and then starting your cooking. It's like getting everything ready for your workout in the previous night so that morning you get up and you can go for that run or go do that workout. Right? So you get, so there is a preparation required where you keep everything ready. So we are talking about those things today.
So,
Are we all
Smita,
good?
people,
Hmm.
learners are saying that they would be doing this. While most of the questions will take up towards the end, there's one particular question about the identifier, and
Mm-hmm.
one learner he or she wants to know what is a real example of identifier. So you
Okay.
repeated that answer about Smita and Hina. So that is the identifier, right? So maybe you would like to
Yeah.
repeat that example once again.
Yeah. So when I have to talk about myself, I say, my name is Smita, right? And I don't know if my parents named me Smita, so I have a smile on my face all the time, or because my name is Smita, because I was smiling all the time, they named me Smita, right? So Smita, the word means smile. So I somehow connect it like that. Or if they don't know, let's say it's a very formal situation, I'll be like, my name is Smita. It means smile in Sanskrit. right? So it's like, so they'll have something to connect more than that, just the word name, Smita. Right? That's an example. Did you get it?
I
Let's say
hope
if,
so.
yeah,
It's
let's say if
yeah,
it is a little less formal place, you can say, who do you identify as? I am a runner, right? Anywhere, because that you can use those things provided you identify yourself as a runner. Which means that at any point of time, there'll be some running example which you'll have, right? I am a problem solver. Let's say you identify yourself as a problem solver. Anywhere there is a problem, somebody comes. Or I am the famous Indian Jugaad person, right? I can solve anything, right? So anything is your identifier, you can do. I was using the very basic thing about your name itself, right? So don't do all these fancy things at the beginning. First, find something about your name or the place or the college or anything and use that as your identity. Okay. Okay. So let's go. The next one. What if? So let's say, what is your goal? I'm assuming that 100% of people here are, why are you here in this? Because you want to crack an interview. So let's say we assume that you have achieved that goal. Can you do that? I'll give you 15 seconds. Can each of you think, feel you cracked the interview? How many are able to do it?
Guru Saran says he's able to do it.
Okay. I am sure there are people who are like,
There are everyone is typing in yes, 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 I can do.
okay. But aren't there somebody who's like, why am I doing it? Why should I do? Right? Just because I came for a session and you're telling I'll goal is achieved, I should visualize. Why? So let's just see what somebody is saying. Okay, I have an ad coming. I don't have. Okay,
How does visualization help with that?
It is everything
you
for
can
me.
hear the
How so?
sound.
So if you're
Yes,
going to
Smita.
play an overseas tour, say to Australia or England or something like that, I literally sat down 2 3 months before, and I've made a decision in my head that I'm going to take their best bowler on. And when I train in the gym, when I'm practicing, regularly there are visuals running in my head, me dominating that bowler. When I train, I have music on, I'm putting myself in a situation where that guy is bringing the heat onto me and I'm countering that, and that becomes such a reality in your head. And invariably, when I went into that situation, I ended up dominating that guy in their own home conditions.
And what specifically are you seeing when you're visualizing it?
I'm actually seeing smashing that bowler all over the field. So I actually feel that emotion in my heart, and I can feel that this is going to happen. And you tune your head or you tune your mind in a way that it's so convincing in your mind that when you're in that situation, your body just takes over because it's already registered in your mind. And when that happens, you feel like, wow, man, this is so powerful. Because if something looks difficult, and if you don't convince yourself to go out there and achieve the opposite, you're never going to be able to do it. You can't just land in a place and say, I'll see what happens. That way, your chances of succeeding become very, very low.
Okay. So how many of you,
And then I saw myself in
so how many of you have seen this before? Heard about Virat Kohli visualizing? Anybody? So this is a very powerful technique. A lot of sports and including Gukesh, right? Who's the recent champion, chess champion. A lot of successful people do this. So why is it important? Because there is a lot of muscle memory for our brain. Brain is also a muscle, right? So you practice, and brain is like a black box. The only way it interacts with the outside world is through signals that it gets. And if you just imagine that way, the signals that you're giving is brain doesn't know whether it is actually happening or you're thinking about it, you're visualizing it. That's the power, right? So how do you visualize then now? Are you all getting any clue on how you can actually visualize? You have to feel that you are already cracking that interview. Okay. So let's say the way to visualize is engaging all senses. So let's take that. So Hina, stay with me.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you attended an interview, and when you came out itself, the person, at the end of the interview, they said, see you in our office, right? That's like the best thing that can happen,
Yeah.
right? So what happened? So let's say that's the situation. When
Mm-hmm.
you came out, or let's say you did it online. So who are you seeing? Visualize who you're seeing and what is there in their mind. They are anxious and you're telling, yes, it clicked, right? And what are they saying? What are you hearing? Close your eyes and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are they saying about this? When you say that, yes, it clicked, right? They're saying, oh, wow, Hina, very good. And are they giving you a shake hand or hug, right? What are you feeling in your body?
Mm-hmm.
And probably, yeah, you just, maybe you're smelling food, right? Anything that you're
Yeah.
smelling at that point of time, they are giving you a chocolate. So you smell the chocolate and there is a taste in your mouth, right? So
Yep.
how does it feel? Feels how what is that feeling of a winner?
It's amazing, and I can actually feel myself over there.
Yeah,
Visualizing it means like I'm already there, so I get those
yeah,
feelings around.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but yeah, but it is, you have to practice it. Again, this comes from practice, right? So this is a method of visualizing where you engage all, otherwise you'll get distracted. That's why you're engaging all your senses and visualizing. Okay, now we are to the, so now what did we do? Almost 20-25 minutes we've been on what to do for interview, right? How to do. Now we'll understand what is interview. Interview is not to select the best person. Interview is not to see, oh, you have all these experience, all this, hence I want. No. Interview is whoever is interviewing you is trying to identify, will you fit that particular role that they are looking for, right? That's the important thing. So you have to just give them a feel that they are fitting in. That's your job. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to have 9 CGPA. You don't have to have the fancy experience. No. Will you fit that job that they are looking for? Okay. And are you able to give that? Are you able to give that convincingly to them? Why do we even have interviews? What is this? What do you see in the screen?
The driving signs.
Yeah, the car dashboard, right? What do you see in the car? So
Mm-hmm.
it gives the driver an indication of what are they supposed to do with this particular thing, right? Should you have, I mean, is it, yeah, sign, I mean, what should you do? Is, uh, is there fuel? Am I supposed to take some action? Everything. If each individual came with such dashboard, no, on our faces saying, oh, this is a problem solver. Here, this person has confidence. This person can innovate. This person can talk well. Right? If you had all those things, no, I don't think we need to have interviews. They can just pick and choose. But unfortunately, that's not there. Hence, there are interview, and not just one, there are different types of interview. The most common ones are, there's a technical interview. Now technical means it will be questions based on your domain of interest or your expertise. So for you, Hina, this technical is, what is the technical round for you? Marketing related questions. How do
Yes.
you do strategy? How do you do campaigns? How do you increase
Campaigns. Mm-hmm.
efficiency? So it will be related to your field of work. Then there'll be behavioral round, right? Where they're trying to see, as a person, how are you? How do you behave in a team? Lot of things they're trying to understand. Then they will give you situational, which is probably like a small project. I mean, if it is marketing, let's say I'll ask you to, if I'm launching something new, what is the strategy? How can you get the first customer for this? Or
Mm.
if it is, data analysis, I might give you a set of data and ask you, what insight are you getting from this? Or a small coding or English, writing an essay, right? It could be anything. But across all this, they are trying to understand certain fundamental things about you. right? That doesn't change. Across technical, behavioral, and situational, they are trying to understand many. Okay, so yeah, good that I had this slide. Do you know, do you know who these people are, Hina? Have you?
I have seen them on the screen, but I haven't really watched the movie.
Okay, so this is from a movie. Anybody in the audience, you know who this is? Who are these people? Where is it
Some
from?
people are saying Inside Out and
Emotions.
Emotions.
Yeah, so this is from the movie Inside Out. They are representing emotions. So, Hina, tell me what emotions you see.
The red one would be anger, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
The
And the
rest of
blue?
them, I don't know.
Blue?
This looks sad.
Blue looks sad. What about the pink one? Or maybe the green. I mean, the one with the blue hair. What do you think she is?
She's smiling, so maybe she's happy.
Yeah, happy, excited, pumped up, right? So, even without knowing more about these people, just by the look of it, you can kind of identify, right? So, we give out a lot of signals when we speak. So, the way you sit, are you slouching and sitting? You're not interested itself if you're slouching. If I sit like this and take the class, how will it be? Okay. No, right? So it's about how actively. I mean, if I smile, I mean, if the way you're smiling and I can see you in my screen, it makes you take the session. I mean, you are the representative. I cannot see anybody's face, but I can say that, okay, Hina seems to be interested in what I'm saying. So yeah, some messages are conveyed, right? So the way you sit, the way you give a handshake. I used to tell in my interviews, the first handshake, I have made 50% of my decision. If they are able to give
Wow.
a firm handshake, it means the person has the attitude and ability to do things. Now it is just about, okay, whether they are decently good in the work, then I will say, okay, I can take and train them, right? So there will be people like that. So make sure you walk in confidently, you sit straight, back straight, right? This is very, very important. And probably for this generation, I mean, even including me, we are always like this in our phone. So practice sitting straight. And this can be another session for us totally. So I'm not delving deep into it, but then make sure that you have, I mean, you at least know about it. Be aware of what kind of signal are you communicating to them, right? So across all interviews, there is some structure. If it is an interview where there's a question and answer, right? Your structure of responses, the way you structure it, you have to the point answer. Okay. There has to be a crisp opening where you say, yes, I know this is how it is. No, I don't know, but this is what I will do. Or this is how I have done it. I have faced it in my this somewhere I have seen this. Okay, this is how Azure works. Tell that. Is it possible in Azure? Yes or no? Maybe, depends. Whatever is that, tell that first. There is no storytelling here. You have to tell the answer first. And then you expand with decision point. But otherwise, what happens is you beat around the bush, you tell all the stories. Finally, the interviewer may feel that they haven't got the answer, right? Or it is confusing. So tell the answer first and then expand with whatever you have to add to it. Like what decision point? How did you go? When you did that particular technical thing, let's say you did the marketing strategy, how did it work? All that, right? So that's how you'll do that. And then you close with what is so significant about it, right? Why was it an important thing? And how is it special? How are you unique? Anything like that. How can you practice all this? Only if you have some of these things already written down and it's there in some way it has to be there in your head. So the first thing is it has to be there in paper somewhere, right? Critical incidents from your life, situations, challenges that you have handled, technical queries, I mean, technical things that you have done, all that has to be written down somewhere for you. And you have to, interview is like a window into you, who you are. What you showcase is what the interviewer is going to see. So you have to have, let's say, Hina, you were looking at, you've been doing marketing in India. Let's say you're looking
Mhm.
at an international marketing role, right? So you want to
Right.
showcase that in a new geography. How do you do? So maybe within your job itself, you have that experience, but that's only within India. That doesn't matter. But then a new geography, how do you approach? Right? So you want to be seen as a person who can take up new thing and they have a plan for it. That's what you want to show. So you have to decide who do you want to be showcased as, and then the entire answers, everything that you do should come from that particular thing. So that is where preparation for a job description, for an interview is very important. So all the answers that you give should be corroborating. It's like a show and tell, right? That's how you do it. And so what are they looking for across all interviews, like technical, behavioral, situational, everything? They're trying to see, are you a person who can learn, you can adapt, right? With the changing things, that's very, very important. Are you motivated? Or are you like, oh, I just want money, I don't want to do any work, or I want easy work? What kind of a person are you? It's not that one is better than the other, but they're just trying to see who you are. And then how are you as a person? How are you organizing your work? How do you improve your productivity? How do you manage time? What do you do when you don't have time? Right? These are all things that they would look for. And how are you in a team, right? With another person when you have to work? How do you take feedback? How do you when things don't work out? What do you do when your team member, the core team, your teammate is not just not doing anything, right? And because of it, your work is suffering. How do you deal with these situations? Right? These are all things that they're trying to understand. All those things, everything there we can delve deeper. I'm just giving a sample, okay? Because this is something which keeps coming back. Self-awareness growth. What comes to your mind? What are some of the questions that you have encountered, Hina, in this area probably?
Usually, what I have faced are questions like what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses. And strengths are still easy to answer, but weaknesses, yes, I have a hard time answering.
Yeah. So how many of you have anything else that you have faced?
We have this question
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well:
this
how to
question
answer
itself.
negative
Okay.
question. Yeah.
Okay. What is your next 5-year goal? Yes, that's one thing. Yes, definitely. What are you looking forward to in this job? What is one good thing? Why are you leaving your previous company? Right? What are you
Yeah.
looking forward here? These are all things. Let's take weakness, for example. Tell me one weakness, or anybody
Um,
in the chat also, any weakness that you say. We'll just try and see how to.
You have mentioned that already as a preparation tip, but this is one of my weakness that I have, and I usually tell people. I tell them that I usually initially when I started my career, I had a hard time taking feedback openly and without getting hurt, and I would take those feedback as very personal.
Very fast. Okay. How many of you? Okay. I'm an overthinker, unable to say no to people, get tensed. Okay. People will try to manipulate. Okay. So do we take this? Can I take what Hina said? That she's not able to take feedback. So the thing will be, let's say I was giving you a situation, right? Your teammate is not doing things probably, because of which your work is getting affected. Okay. And you know what I'm going to tell you, Hina? This is no, this is not done. Where is your deliverable? You cannot
Mm-hmm.
blame the other person and say, oh, they didn't do, hence I didn't do. Why didn't you tell me before? Right? So many things are
Yeah.
going to happen. Now, what is actually happening? Why are you why do you so the way to tell weakness? Okay, so this is the structure to address a weakness question or anything that is you consider it as a negative thing, right? Which you don't want to tell.
Hmm.
So go deeper and find out what is that fundamental thing that is making you do this. Why is it that it is difficult for you to take feedback? What happens?
I feel like even though I gave the task or anything my 100% and my best, and still there are things that I couldn't do to the best,
Okay. So
or to their expectations, maybe.
okay. Yeah, so you put in your 100%. That's one part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you also think that, yeah, there'll be more things to do? I know there are things that are missing out, right? Do you also feel that sometimes the feedback before they say we already know the feedback also, right? So this is typically another thing saying, hey, I know this, but I consciously didn't do. I didn't have time for this. Whatever, right? So you're saying that you've put in your best and you also know next time when you do, you have a plan for that already. So why are you giving me feedback, right? So how do you put this to an interviewer? Let's try. I am someone who gets attached to the work that I'm doing. I get attached and hence I put in my 120% into my work. Hence, and I'm very aware what is happening, what is not happening. And I have a plan for improving it in the next time. So when someone else tells me this, I find it difficult. I find it difficult that someone is giving me feedback on things that I already know. And hence, I take it personally. I will suck for some time. I go inside. I'm not able to do. But the way I'm doing it is, I am thinking that, okay, this is, why do I have a plan to do this better in the next time? Because I'm a person who's interested in becoming better, growth. Someone else is doing the job for me by identifying all the things that didn't go well. So I'll be like, okay, thank you. You told me what I should have done. Very good. Right. So I'm trying to do this. So two parts to it. One is tell why that weakness is there. And the second part, what are you doing to overcome that
Overcome
weakness?
it.
Overcome that weakness. So don't just tell, I mean, I've heard people say that I cannot prioritize things. Why are you not able to prioritize? Because you are an overconfident person who underestimates the effort that is required. And you're like, I can do it in 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. And then suddenly you see that no, everything suddenly becomes, you have exam tomorrow, you have submission tomorrow, you have campus interview tomorrow, everything comes in. And then you feel that, oh, you're not able to prioritize. But there are deeper roots for that. So find any route and then why, and then from there explain. Right? Because everybody knows that people have weaknesses. It's about how are you approaching the weakness, right? So another important thing that gets asked, and especially I'm sure a lot of our participants are trained in problem solving. What comes to your mind when we say problem solving? What do you think problem solving? What have you been taught as problem solving? Anybody in the chat?
So, what comes to my mind is usually the kind of questions that interviewers ask, and that is, let's say you had a challenge or a
Mm.
workplace challenge or a personal challenge that you faced during your during your personal life or during your professional life.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do, and how did you solve that particular
Okay.
challenge?
Okay.
So, this is one pertinent
Very
question.
good. Very good. Very good. Problem solver. Because most often when I say problem solving, people say that they know how to code. Okay. Probably I speak to a lot of IT folks. So they think that problem solving is solving problems in lead code, problem solving so finding solutions using technology is what we think. That's not the thing. Anything, like even in a marketing scenario, the technical round that I'm doing with you, Hina, I can ask a question where I'm trying to find out how do you solve a problem. Let's say you ran a campaign and you didn't get the expected result, right? Let's say you wanted to get 3,000 people for this webinar. There are how many? 267 people who are there in this webinar. How do you knew that only so many will come in. How do you do? So the way to approach it is we should have a problem solving process, right? The process should be identifying the problem first.
First,
Oh,
yep.
maybe we didn't time it well. Right? How did you evaluate what all could have been done? Right now, what can be done? We didn't time it well, but then how do we reach out to everybody who's sitting at home and chilling, who's in their vacation? How do we drag them into this webinar? Right? So evaluate what all can be done and then choose one solution and then do. So this is typically how you do problem solving. So have examples from your either personal life or your co-curricular club, anywhere, right? So you can use across an interview, you can use examples from any of these. It can be from your work, it can be from your academics, it can be from your experience, project, internship, it can be from your co-curricular activity, it can be the personal life, it can be, but everything cannot be from one. You can, so if you're, when you're preparing for answering problem solving questions, find scenarios in your life where you have faced a problem and how did you solve it. All of us solve problems, right? I clicked on the link and it didn't work. That's a problem solving, right? But something which is relevant to the job description. Have that and then structure it in a way. So you have to have a crisp, yes, I have faced this. This is the place I faced it. This is how I solved it. Then you tell what was the problem? How did you evaluate? What are your options? Then you choose how did you choose the solution? Basically you're trying to show them that you have logical thinking, you take initiative. It's not that you have a problem and you sit with it, right? A lot of people are problem reporters, they're not solvers. Right? So, and you have a calm approach to challenges. That's what you're trying to tell. Okay, so interviews, people look for a lot of things like learnability, mindset, time management, all those things. We just took two things. One is problem solving and one is, what is the previous thing that we took? Strength, weakness, self-awareness, growth, career plan, everything. So some questions we took here, right? So similarly, we can go deeper into all the other aspects also, and then have some kind of a structure in our head as to how we will do this. But yeah, I keep telling you have to have head, paper and all. But yeah, as we said, brain is a muscle.
Muscle.
And how do you exercise your muscles? By going to a gym.
Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Stretch yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open. Today is play your book, begin. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel.
Okay, so this is from a workout, a CrossFit gym that I go to. What they're saying is this is functional fitness, right? So you exercise your muscle so that you can do your daily life things better. Similarly, you have to practice when you're not facing an interview, so that in an interview, you can be as confident as having a conversation with a friend. Right? Once you've cleared that interview, that person may be your peer, maybe your manager, maybe your friend's manager, it could be anything. It's just that today you don't know. If you knew that, your conversation will be so much easier. So the way to do it is visualization, practice. Practice all what we said. One of the major things is, so consider interview like a problem. How do you solve that problem? So you can practice. Do you want to, any of you want to practice this? So I have a community where we give daily task so that people, the participants are prepared for facing interviews. So if you want to join the community, you can click on this. Hina, can you also share the link in the chat?
One
So
minute.
this is the QR code to join my WhatsApp group where I give practice.
I have also typed
The
in
thing.
the WhatsApp link.
Okay.
All of you who have joined from phones can click on this link and join the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, you can join the WhatsApp group. So I run courses on how to ace your interview where I'll cover all these things. And one of the things that we make the participant do is practice. So we'll give you a taste of how the practice looks like for 1 week starting 25th. So approach New Year with much more confidence. Okay. So these are my coordinates if you want to stay connected, my email ID and my LinkedIn. So do follow, send a request. And that is what I had. Over to you, Hina.
Thank you, Smita, for that wonderful session. I had a lot to take in, and definitely that will improve in my future interviews that I give.
So I think there is one question resume. So we are having a follow-up session in Jan. Who's it? Prachi. Preeti.
Yes,
Hmm.
I would be taking them through
Ah,
this
okay.
also.
Fine. Yeah.
One second. Let me present my screen. My screen visible, Smita?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So before we go to the part where we talk about the resume building sessions and other details, I would like to take you through the Future Skills Prime. As I initially mentioned, that this webinar has been brought to you by Future Skills Prime. It's an initiative between NASCOM and the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, METI as we know it. And Future Skills Prime is a platform where you can log in and continue to do your skilling and upskilling and reskilling in various emerging technologies, as well as various soft skills. As some of you mentioned, that communication skills is one of the weaker areas that you have. Future Skills Prime has also ranked third globally by the European Commission's Pact for Skills report. So, global organizations are also recognizing the part that we are playing in upskilling. These are the let me take this away from your screen. So these are the emerging technologies, as you can see, in technology skills, and these are the professional skills. As we said, negotiation and influencing, or problem solving, or continuous learning and effective communication courses are also there, which will help you improve in your interview process.
So just
On
one
the
second, Hina.
Mhm.
Are you able to connect this with what we spoke so far? There has to be some solid content, right? You need to know your subject well. So there are technologies. If you are a technology person, learn from all these courses that are there in FSP and have professional skills courses taken so that you know the theory of problem solving, theory of continuous learning, right? And then you practice. Right? So
Yeah,
it's
you can
connected with what we
combine
said. Yeah.
both the technology skills and professional skills. If you would like to log in, this is on the right hand side. You can see a QR code. You simply have to scan, and then you would be, I mean, led to the page. Some very few details about the Future Skills Prime platform. If you're unsure where your competency lies or what skill suits you, you can have a competency diagnostic test that you can assess your aptitude with. Then we have courses on foundational, bridge, and deep skilling courses. And every time you do a course from our platform, you would get a NASCOM certification like this, ladies holding on your screen. And all of these courses that you do can be applied in your academic system. You can add them as a credit in your report card or your academic system as well. And again, before this, I would take you through the platform. So this is the platform that we were talking about, Future Skills Prime. I would also type this in later in the chat box for you. So this is the platform, and once you sign up or sign in, then you would see this particular home page, and you have various technologies over here, generative AI and other skills as well. As you scroll down, once again, you have big data analytics, Internet of Things, semiconductor, all those technologies that we just spoke about. And let's say this is my page. I have already logged in for ease during the session. So let's say this is my feed. This is what are the courses that I'm currently doing. And you would also have a skill passport that you can showcase on your LinkedIn. You would have batches in marketing. I have some in marketing prompts, generative AI, etc. So these you can add to your LinkedIn profile, and all the courses that you do would be in your My Learning section. So this is in short what the Future Skills Prime platform is. Do log in and do follow us on these channels: LinkedIn, X, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, because we do a lot of sessions in technology skills as well as in soft skills. This is one of the soft skills session that we are doing. Talking of which, we are about to do another one. So I was having this conversation with Smita. I was like, let's do resume first, and then let's do the interview one. But she was like, no, let's do the interview. Let's do the vice versa version of it. So that's how we brought to you the interview session first and the resume revamp tips and tricks to get noticed by employers. This is something that we would be doing in the new year, that is January. And we hope you do join us for this particular session. So now we are to any Q&A questions that
Yeah,
you have. I
Hina,
sent.
people are asking for link to FSP. Can you
Oh,
just post
yes,
the
I'll.
link also? Yeah.
Yes.
You can
So
close your
yes,
screen share. You can stop.
yes, I can do that. One second. Stop sharing. So I have put in the chat box the link, and now we will take up questions. I have already written down some questions that were initially asked Smita. So
Yeah, we have, I mean, we are on top of the hour. If you can stay, we will take as many questions as possible. Yeah. Or if not, thank you for joining. Yeah. Yeah, Hina. No, I was just mindful of the time. Yeah.
yes, we should be. So Smita, some of the questions that I have is, one is how to improve my communication skills.
Okay. So practice. That's the only way to do. So what I figured out once I ran away from my interview is communication is about I don't have stuff to tell. That is why I don't want to talk, right? It's not the language. I'm like, I don't know what to tell. So basically, get your content right and then practice. You can do mirror practice. You can open any of the conferencing applications, or you can do like what I said, rehearse with coach in PowerPoint. You have to practice. And it's got nothing to do with, don't get into an English course or a language, a grammar, nothing. It's about communicating, right? So usually in my session, I have a bit from the movie Roja, where that lady is talking in Tamil, and the army man is like, yeah, I'm getting it, right? So this language has got very small part. If you have all the right words, let's say you're going to do marketing, you will talk about all the right words. That is enough for them. You have communicated. Unless and until your job is to talk, then you better. If your job, I mean, communication is just a side thing, that is fine. So, one, get your content right. Second, practice. Third, it is enough. Whatever you have is enough for this job.
So Anupama, we have courses on communication on our platform. You're asking about the platform, so that's the answer. And of course, you can go anytime and search for any other alternatives as well. Smita, we have another question. What about freshers who don't have enough experience to showcase or any noteworthy achievements as such?
Yeah, so you can, let's say your CGP is not something to talk about. You don't have this one. Can you talk about how you learned something, right? How you had a struggle. Your achievement is you struggled and you came out of it. That's your achievement. You had areas. How did you clear that and came off? That's your achievement. Enough. Freshers, people are not looking about, oh, you published a paper. No. What will you call as an achievement? That's what they're looking for.
What if people have career gap and they have to answer that particular question? Achievements.
You can talk from your previous, whenever you worked, if it is a specific thing about the JD or the role demand, or you talk about something that you did during the gap. If you haven't done anything, do something today, so that tomorrow when you have to face an interview, you can tell with confidence that I did it. I started. That is good enough.
Right. There's one question that I also suffer with. What should I do if I don't know the answer to a question?
Yeah, that's okay. I should have covered it. Yeah, when you don't know, start by saying, I don't know. I haven't faced it. Or I am really not sure. Don't have to start with that. But then say, but can I say how I will approach? Or this is what I can connect and say based on all the other knowledge that you have. Nobody is thinking that you know all the answers. Unless and until it is something like, what is a campaign? And you're like, I don't know what a campaign is, then it's a little bit of a problem there, right? So make sure that you have your basics covered. So that's where I think if you join the resume session, you'll get it. Anything, any word that you have written in your resume, right? It's like a bomb. It's like a landmine. Your resume is a landmine. Any word that you have written there, you should know at least 2, 3 answers, 2, 3 questions to answer.
Somebody has asked one question. I'm a very silent and introvert person. How do I, let's say I'm answering that as a weakness, that my weakness is I'm an introvert and silent person. Then how do I explain that to the interviewer? Because one of the tactics that you mentioned was to give an explanation.
Why are you an introvert? Like, what makes you not have conversations with someone? Right? If you, I think you're wrong person to answer that question. You can't answer that question, Hina. So, introvert, you look at what is bringing that out, right? It's not that you don't talk at all. You talk when you're comfortable. So maybe
Right.
when you are meeting someone for the first time, or you are with a lot of people, that's when you are an introvert, right? So you can say, I don't enjoy. Can I use Canva template to build my resume? This is not resume class. I will not answer this. You joined the resume class, Amrita.
You join the next session, Amrita.
Okay, so you talk about, I don't enjoy when there are too many people. My best comes out when I am alone. And it is a problem. I also know that in a team situation, I will have to interact with new people. I will have to do this. Why would okay? So that's the way you approach that question. So tell why this happens, what is the impact, and then you also tell about, I am putting myself in such situations. I'm trying to become better at it.
There is another one on how to boost confidence.
What gives you, what are you, okay, the person who had that question, I want to know what is it something that they are confident about. What are you confident about?
Niharika, could you answer in the chat box or even in the live Q&A?
Okay, so typically confidence comes from, one is past success, right? You have already done this, you know, you've aced it. When you're going for a match, I mean, you're going for a test. How will you be confident? When you've prepared well. The previous test you got 100, or you have, all the questions beforehand. That's another place where you will have confidence. So I don't think so. One thing is, if you're going for a specific job in a specific company, today internet has all the types of questions, everything is available. So go for figure out what are the questions they ask and prepare for it. That will give you confidence, and keep doing it. Practice.
There is creative ways of asking questions these days, Smita, and this is one of the tougher ones that we do face. Why should we don't select you? Why should we not select you?
Why should we not select you? Okay. So what is the other way? How do you put it differently? Why will you not select you?
Why?
Matlab, why should I select you?
Yeah. Why should I
Or
select?
why will I not select you? Okay, what is your problem that because of which you will not select me? That is weakness only, no? That's your weakness. I'm not
Yeah.
someone who can, like, your job requires me to be on the road meeting new people every time. I am an introvert. That could be the reason. If your job is like that, then that is the reason why you will not select me. Basically, it's a way of telling what is your weakness and how will it show up in work.
Sure. Some people are asking about the next session. We haven't decided on the dates as of now. We'll definitely keep you posted through WhatsApp messages, through emails, and of course on the platform as well. Future Skills Prime platform. Keep looking out and keep watching for any further events that we would be doing, and we would definitely be posting about the next session on resume building over there. Okay, Smita, looks like we have covered most of the questions, and we are already past 15 minutes, the time that we slotted this for. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We know that you are in your vacation time and you're enjoying your time before the new year comes in and you start with your new years, and we are also kind of in the same mode, Smita and I. And thank you so much, Smita, for your time, for such a great and wonderful session, because it also gave me personally some tips that I would definitely be using in my interviews when I go for them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.